Good afternoon from the For the CME. This is Chris Robinson with your Traders Exclusive comment for today, Friday, April 7th. Busy day, obviously, with the outside markets, with what happened with the strike in Syria. You have the Chinese here visiting President Trump in Florida. And you also had a negative unemployment number today, or kind of a negative unemployment, a miss on the number. Be that as it may, the markets all held up surprisingly well. The outside markets, especially, the stock market had about a 200-point swing. It came back and settled relatively unchanged after a little bit of volatility. It didn't really spill over at all into the grains, cattle, or cotton, however, and that's usually what I talk about. Those markets are kind of independent from the stock indexes, as well as what's going on with the bonds. We're in the time of the year now where we're looking at the fundamentals and supply and demand for those commodities. So that being said, with that backdrop, what's going on with the grains? Well, you've got corn and wheat at the bottom of their trading ranges. The managed money has a pretty large short betting on lower prices. They're short 130,000 contracts of corn, about 150,000 contracts of wheat, give or take. They're also neutral to possibly short soybeans after having been long about 150,000 contracts of soybeans, betting on higher moves in soybeans. Soybeans are sitting at a critical support level. Pull up a chart, look at May soybeans. They're down at a very critical level right now. Why is that important? Well, next Wednesday, I have another USDA report. That could be the pivot for these markets, either turning around and having a short covering rally now that we've had such a sell-off, or some people believe that there's one more leg to go, one more leg of selling yet to come. So next Wednesday is going to be a good market opportunity for both bulls and bears. I would continue to watch those key support levels on the charts. We have not had a weather issue so far in North America that's impacted grain prices at all. Typically, we will get one or two of those between now and about June. We'll get some sort of weather issue. Either it's going to be too wet or too dry. I'd be very surprised if we did not see that at some point down the road. And all that means is we could have a bounce back in prices if we got some sort of weather concern that the weather would impact the progress of the crops. So that's something I continue to watch moving forward. Cattle and livestock continue to maintain pretty healthy bids. I would say that those are very technically driven markets. I wouldn't get I wouldn't fall in love with the position in the live cattle or feeder cattle, not with really any strong conviction. We've had a really good move higher. Could it go higher? Yes, but I'd say if I'm a producer or if I'm a hedger, I'm looking to take opportunities to put on hedges to try and catch a correction lower if that comes. The managed money is very long. That could be a very precarious situation. They're long about 130,000 contracts of live cattle. That's a big part of the open interest. If they need to go somewhere with those and need to sell them, that's a setup for a correction lower. And then finally, I wanted to finish the afternoon. I wanted to talk about cotton. Cotton's been known as the winner-maker trade. It can be very, very thin and very, very dicey. Cotton's been on a really good tear. You've had the managed money wanting to own this since back in November. It's helped push prices higher. So cotton to me looks like it may be running out of gas. It may be a good time if I'm a producer or if I'm a speculator to take a look at making sure that if cotton did have a sharp correction down, that you're in a situation where you can either protect yourself or benefit from that correction. That's really about it. These commodity markets have been relatively calm, but they're kind of overextended. Like I said, you've got cattle and cotton near their highs, and you've had the reverse in the grains. They're near their lows. So you see that. Are we set up for a situation where they would snap back? That's something I'd always be looking for. If you're looking for help with your hedging or you're speculating, if you want to talk about your positions, look me up on the web, give me a call. Chris Robinson. Have a great weekend.